So you've it's not quite about the bike this time, is it? It's one particular part in
Yeah. So this Bold bike has got the new DT Swiss holistic suspension on it, the holistic fork, the F something 135 something or other.
The F5351.
There we go, the 5351. Obviously,
5351
trips off the tongue.
Yeah.
So yeah, the thing that does trip off the tongue is the holistic suspension, which I'm not sure whether you get like an acupuncture session with that when you set it up,
or lots of like sort of tablets that maybe help you.
Yeah, maybe you set up some candles on the trail just to get you in the right frame of mind.
Trail riding.
I don't know, but it does some interesting things. There's some bold claims to go with it. It's basically, in essence, on the damping side, it's a position-sensitive damper.
Okay, what does that mean in particular?
So it effectively tries to alter the amount of damping you use depending on where you are in the travel.
Right.
So if you want kind of less, more open damping, less compression at the top of the stroke on small bumps and stuff like that.
So it's nice and supple.
So it's nice and supple and compliant, but then you still need support in the mid-stroke and end-stroke progression and bottom-out control. It tries to give you the best of both worlds. It tries to basically kind of change the damping depending on where you are in the fork in the travel.
Okay.
And this is not something especially new, because I think a lot of off-road vehicles use it.
But it's quite new for mountain-bikes.
Back in the 90s and 2000s, I think people played with variations on this.
Yep.
I'm not saying it's exactly the same, but there was definitely position-sensitive damping was definitely touted around. So it's not a massively new, but certainly at the moment it's probably the only fork that's kind of looking in this direction.
And so the biggest thing that's noticeable about the fork as well is it looks like you can't touch it. There's no dials or anything at all.
They've kind of gone for a really clean look there with these kind of covers over the dials, and that's because they effectively have devised their own kind of settings that they think are the optimum settings, and they kind of want you to not fiddle around with it all the time. You just kind of set and forget type of thing.
Yeah.
Which is kind of what they've done with my fork. They just roughly set the sag, then they've changed the rebound damping according to that sag. So yeah, I haven't touched anything, and it's been very basic in terms of setup. So they haven't released exactly how the damper works, but it's a little bit like a bypass system that kind of Baja trucks and ATVs and stuff like that use. And as you go through the travel, the damper piston, floating piston, basically kind of seals off these orifice ports, which so when it's kind of you're at the upper end of the stroke, oil flows through the ports rather than flowing through the shim stack. As the piston kind of closes those ports, as you're deeper in the travel, then it's forced to go through the shim stack.
Okay.
So you can have two quite different kind of damping rates effectively through the travel. So that's roughly the idea behind it. They haven't told us exactly how that works, but so that's on the damping side. On the air spring side, they've also added it's a dual air, so it's a self-balancing system like kind of Fox and RockShox type of thing, but they use a little coil spring in the positive rather than negative, because the negative's air, to basically overcome that initial friction stiction that you get with a fork, to give it that, to basically get it moving much easier, and increase the sensitivity of the fork. So it's supposed to give you very, very supple initial response, but still get good ramp up and mid-stroke support. So
now we're almost at the station.
There's a hell of a lot to say about it. It's also
we got there's more.
35mm stanchions, 130 to 160 travel.
29 obviously.
29 and the Alltech Plus, and there's also a 27.5 fork as well.
Okay.
This one's got a lockout on it as well, as if that wasn't enough. Always a little bit sceptical about forks with built-in lockouts.
Okay.
So it's a full lockout, but yeah.
And you've ridden it already. A 30-second ride review.
Yeah, it's definitely very, very supple at the top of the stroke. That's for sure. didn't feel it's being. Definitely didn't blow through its travel. There's support and progression. I mean, look, I've not.
No, you still got a bit left, haven't you?
Left there, so far so good. Like despite some pretty bold claims, it seems to live its promise at the moment. Yeah, so I'm
great.
I'm kind of into it.
Well,
yeah.
time for another ride then.
Yeah, let's give it
Here
a
we go.
go.